Like, if I'm gonna be completely honest, like growing up, I didn't really have a passion for real estate.
Mm,
I also believe in God, and I believe like everything works for a
mm,
reason.
mm.
Um,
Welcome to the crown that befits you, the podcast for kingdom minded visionaries. Here we talk faith, purpose, and the journey to success. From entrepreneurs to overcomers, we unpack what it takes to walk boldly in your God given calling. Your crown is waiting for you. Let's walk in it together. Where did your journey in real estate begin, and what sparked that interest?
actually, it's an interesting story.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm gonna be completely honest, like growing up, I didn't really have a passion for real estate.
Mm,
Most of my friends know that like I had a real passion for soccer. I still have a passion for soccer. So after my matric year, I actually wanted to pursue soccer, further. So my plan was not to register to university to study further. Just wanted to actually take a gap year so I could just push my career in soccer. But my parents are very academic. My mom's a doctor. My dad also has his MBA. So my mom actually, caught me just watching TV. Obviously, I was watching soccer, and she was like, "Did you apply?" You know, um, and to be honest, I didn't even know how to apply for uni or for degrees. So then she, just took out the laptop and I was with her. And it was like last minute, I think it was like the day before
mm.
registration closed. So we were just on the laptop and I remember I applied to Vits and to Rhodes and UCT. But like for Vits specifically, we applied for law, BCom, general, and then we also applied for real estate.
Yeah.
So then I got my marks back, and once I got my marks back, I got rejected for law and also for BCom, and then I got accepted for real estate.
Got accepted for real estate.
Yeah, so actually, that's actually when I started like getting the passion for real estate because it was basically the only thing that I could do. But ever since I got accepted, like my life is really, you know, um, it's transformed ever since like I dedicated myself to understanding like
Mm,
the craft in real estate and I enjoy it.
man. So it's like you got rejected from law, BCom, and then you in real estate. It was like a coincidence that.
Yeah, basically to sum it up, it was a coincidence how I found my passion in real estate, but I also believe in God and I believe like everything works for a
Mm,
reason.
mm.
It found me and I found it and like things are going really really well with me in real estate.
So when did you start seeing this not just as a hustle but as a calling or career?
Um Actually, like once I graduated. So similar story to like my matric year. So I was actually still pushing soccer in university.
Mm.
I was playing for the Viz team. I was trying to get up the ranks. I was really dedicated to the craft.
Pushing to get to PSL.
Yeah, PSL. Because I was still young. I'm still young now, but I
Yep.
was like young. I was like 20, 21. So
Yeah.
I still had like time on my side. So after my degree, like I told myself, okay, let me get the degree for the rent and then let me
Mm,
push.
mm, mm.
And then actually I got like injured in my last year. Like I tore my hip flexor
Yeah.
and then I had to go for an operation. Um, and then when I went for the operation, I think it was like maybe 4 months before I graduated.
Mm.
Like then it clicked that like actually, might not be able to push like soccer
Yeah.
full time because of this injury. And then that's when it clicked that I had to like really focus on something outside of soccer.
Yeah.
And then so obviously I was graduating, so I'm like, okay, like I have this degree and I
Mm.
can like utilize it and optimize on like my degree and my knowledge. So then I started applying. Again, I got rejected a lot
Mm.
with different companies. Wanted to go on the development side. Wanted to also go in banking,
Yeah.
like real estate finance, but I got rejected. And then to be honest with you, I also got tired of apply.
Mm,
So like I'm a entrepreneur by nature. Like I've traded forex. I've sold a couple of things. My parents are very entrepreneurial as well. So I've been sitting at home doing nothing. But like I was just speaking to my aunts, my mom, just telling them about the situation. So my aunt was like, "Okay, now that you have a degree, I actually bought this house through an agent. She was a black lady named Charlotte
mm,
Banyana." So I messaged Charlotte on Charlotte. She was working at Remax, and I told her about like my background and everything. And then she was like, "Now just come see, like come shadow me." So
mm,
then I went to her, I shadowed her, and like that's actually once I started pursuing real estate as a career, because I could see that like I'm a real estate agent. I'm working for Remax. One thing that I really loved about it is that like basically you in partnership with the company, you're not working under the company, so you still like maintain your entrepreneurial skills. um and like I like that. Like I never really saw myself in a 9 to 5. I saw myself like doing business where I can still control my time. And like real estate sales allowed me to do that and allowed me to like really pursue a career where I feel really appreciated, and also like I'm able to also still maintain my own life as well.
So now you tell me, right, your state of mind when you're trying to push soccer, you're trying to make it and you get that injury, right? You're already dealing with a lot of rejection. So for people out there, what was your state of mind, your thinking process to say, okay, were you like really down, depressed? What got you to have that switch to say, listen, you know what, I didn't make it in football, but I can do this in order to get me to where I am today?
Yeah, I think that also boils down to like my upbringing and also my faith. As I mentioned earlier, I really believe everything works for a
Mm,
reason, even the bad things. The bad things are for your good if you love God. And like I just understood that like there's always a plan with God. Like even if my plan doesn't work out, there's still a plan. So like even when I got injured, like it was devastating. Like I still sometimes just watch soccer and I'm like, "Ish, that could have been me." But then at the same time, like I had like a really good spell, like
yeah,
growing up, like I was a really good soccer player. And
Pabi
like
Mora.
yeah, and like some people like don't get to experience that, and I was just grateful that I did. But
Yeah.
then I was also like I prayed to God and I'm like, if it is your will, let it be done. If it's not,
Mm,
like let me know what you want me to do. So actually, when I went into real estate sales, so there was a couple of companies that I had option to join, like Remax, Pam Golding, Keller Williams. And then I prayed about it and I'm like, God, like let me know
yeah.
which company that I should work for, where your blessing is. And then I remember I fasted, and then I just kept on seeing like Remax like on different like cars, billboards, and I'm like, no, like this is God. And the crazy thing is like when I started like at Remax, like things weren't working out at all. But where God's blessing is, it's not gonna happen immediately,
Yeah.
but it will happen. Like once it happened, like once it started booming, I was going crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
so
didn't look back.
yeah, I didn't look back.
Yeah.
And another thing, like your question is like, how do you keep on going when things are not going your way? Like even when I joined Remax, things weren't going my way,
Mm,
but I had faith and I had the knowledge that God wanted me here. So it is going to work in some way at the right time. So like to answer your question in summary, just my faith
mm.
and also my upbringing.
Powerful. Now, if people had to come to you and ask you, because we know that you're really successful real estate agent, if people someone had to come and ask you, who is Bobby in your own words?
All right. I'm God fearing. I really love God. Yeah, like God's my homie. I have a good relationship with him. Um, I'm also a family man. Grew up in a very stable and loving family, thanks to God. Um, I love people as well. I love helping people. And also God also blessed me with a career where I'm always helping people on a daily basis. Um, I have a good sense of humor. I like laughing. I like smiling as
Mm.
well. And also I love soccer. Like in another world, I think I would have been like the CR7
Yeah.
Cristiano. Like I really love soccer. Like that's one thing that like keeps me sane.
Yeah.
Like just like looking forward. I know you also support Chelsea. Like
Yeah,
just
man.
looking forward to like a Chelsea game. Oh, and also I love taking care of myself. Like also very active in the gym.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also eating well. I'm just like a man of progress. Like I hate, we actually had a conversation before this, like
Stagnancy.
yeah, like I hate being comfortable. Actually, I really love being uncomfortable. Like even right now, like it's a bit uncomfortable, but
Mm.
like just pushing yourself to the next level, seeing like what God created in you is really capable of doing. I feel like, because we created in the image of God, is actually so crazy, like of the power and the authority that we have and
Yeah.
through and
Yeah.
see what's on the other side.
It's when you keep saying like, football, it hits home because, you say like in another world you would have been in the
Yeah.
CR7. I can relate, when it
Yeah,
didn't
guys, and
happen.
Banjo was actually dope back then.
It didn't work out. Like you just,
But
when you watch football and then you can watch it like when people watch football, they watch it from a surface level, like
yeah.
goals. But when you see them play, the pass, the thinking, you actually in the game with them. So
Mm,
when they make that mistake, you're so frustrated because you know you would have done so much better. So it's
yeah, yeah.
like why are you there? And then
Yeah,
I get
yeah,
what you mean, but
yeah,
God's plan comes
yeah, for
first.
sure, for
Yeah.
sure.
No, I get you. Now, dialing into like the mindset of a winner, right? Do you think success in real estate is more about skill, mindset, or consistency?
That's a good question, but I would actually say it's a combination of all of it.
Mm, mhm,
Skill, mindset, and consistency. Like in any craft, I feel like skill, like you obtain skill over time by like failing,
mhm.
by doing the same thing over and over. That's the consistency
Yeah.
as well. And just the mindset to also be willing to learn, willing to fail, especially in sales. One thing that like was really, really like triggering is just the rejection, like speaking to people and people saying no. I did a couple of cold calls, calling strangers, people coming to properties and they don't sign the OTP. But it's all boils down to the mindset. And I think, now that we're speaking,
Mm,
like my soccer journey also, like I had a good journey, but I also had a journey that like I faced a lot of rejection,
mm.
like going on trials, like
Ish.
getting rejected a lot, but then you still like wake up the next day because of the passion
Yeah.
and because of the dream. Me and my friends call it the impossible dream. Like being a soccer player is like,
The impossible dream. I
yeah,
like
like
that. Yeah.
like it's literally like it's so impossible because so many guys want it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But like you just wake up knowing that it's impossible. And also like going back to the Bible, like all things are possible, with
Yes.
God. You know what I mean? So like it's just the mindset, like just knowing that okay, no, what I'm doing right now doesn't make sense, but like I'm gonna make it make sense over time by
Mm,
like
mm,
learning from my mistakes, pushing through even though like when I don't see anything, like just working by faith. So it's like a combination. So
mm.
skill, consistency, and mindset. It's a combination of all of it.
So with all that combination, right? You said it really nicely, like the impossible dream, being rejected from trials, doing cold calling. How
Yeah.
did you deal with rejections or like dry seasons?
So actually, I had a bad day yesterday. So I had two deals fall through yesterday.
Yeah.
Um, and I was actually, it's weird that you're mentioning this now. Like when like my conveyancer, like the conveyancer is
Mm,
like a lawyer that like transfers properties. She called me and she told me that these two deals collapsed. And like when I heard that, like I felt chatted because I had plans with like
mm,
the
mm.
cash that was gonna come in. And then I told myself, I speak to myself a lot, like verbally,
Mm,
and I'm like, um, what do you do on your bad days? You know what I mean? Like, it's easy to like do anything on your good days, but like, how do you show up on your bad days? And then I had a gym session, and like something was telling me to go home, like just feel sorry for yourself. But I'm like, nah, like just still show
mm,
up. You know what I mean? So like to answer your question with the rejections, like I remember my mentor told me like whenever you get a heavy rejection, give yourself like 10 minutes to feel sorry for yourself. But then after that, like snap out of it. So like that's what I do. Like I feel because emotions are a real thing. Like I'm not gonna pretend like it's not impacting me.
yeah,
Like I'm gonna feel it, I'm gonna bleed it, but then life goes on.
yeah.
Life goes on. The sad thing about life is that it doesn't wait for anyone. So like I allow myself to feel the pain, but I then continue with the routine. I think
Mm,
that's the most important thing. Continue with your routine because it's making sense. Just some things don't work out in life. But like it's not that your life isn't making sense.
mm.
Yeah.
Okay, that's powerful, bro. Um, okay, then sure, you touched really nicely with your mentorship and everything. So, what methods do you use in the field that give you consistent results?
All right. What methods in real estate?
Yes.
Okay. So basically in real estate, it's about relationships.
Hmm.
So everything has to boil down to relationships. So it's all about building relationships. So basically contact. Like I need to make sure that like I contact 100 people a day. Right
Yes.
now, I'm blessed to have like a call caller that like calls for me. So like she makes 100 calls, but I still do like WhatsApps and not
Oh, that's nice.
WhatsApp.
Someone calls for you.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Got like a PA. Yeah. So make sure that I'm calling, make sure that I'm creating relationships. Make sure that I'm also following up. There's
Mm,
this one really good book that I read. It's called The $1 Million
the $1 million.
Real Estate Agent.
Okay.
And actually I hate reading. I don't know how I read that book. But then I was really like keen to like do to kill this real estate game.
Yeah.
So I read it and it spoke about like relationships and like like what did they say like your net worth is your network.
Yes.
So
Yes.
like I'm always trying to build my network. So it's like cold calling, sending WhatsApp,
Wow.
sending email campaigns, like just getting like properties to sell. That's actually what I focus on. I don't focus on selling anything. I focus on creating new relationships
Creating
because when I
relationships.
create the relationship, then the magic happens around the
I can see
relationship.
you.
Yeah.
Damn. So it's a different method because most people, when it comes to sales, they just think it's a selling. They don't see
Yeah.
the whole picture, the method
Yeah, and
behind it.
like I was actually skeptical about sales, like because you've been approached by a salesman like selling you insurance
Yeah. Yeah.
policies
True.
from
True.
the bank saying
Yeah.
like you can get a credit and you just want to drop the call. You know what I mean? But like you don't really get like um someone like trying to build like an authentic
Mm,
relationship with
mm.
you. Then you find out, hey dude, I actually got a homie that's like selling
Yeah.
cribs. Reach out to him. But that's based on our relationship. So now I can also
Mm,
like get like referrals because me and you have a general. I'm not saying Bandra,
mm.
do you want to sell this apartment? You know what I
No, I
mean?
get you.
Imagine
Yeah.
if I walked in, I'm like, yo, Bandra, let's sell this apartment.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if
Yeah.
I come and then like you like, yo, Pops, let's go out for lunch. We go out for lunch, everything is organic. When you want to sell, you're gonna think about me because of the relationship. You know what I mean? So like I think it's like reverse psychology. Like just because with sales, why some people don't find success in sales because they're really pushy.
Mm, mm.
Sometimes you just need to like be patient. It's like a really patient game. Be patient, build the
Older.
relationship,
Yeah.
and then
True.
over time, I was telling you now, like I'm at a point in my career where a lot of business is coming to me,
Yes.
but that's based on my relationships
The
and like the
foundation you built.
relationships that I built, the contact that
Yeah.
I made a year ago. People are like, oh, now there was this young boy, he studied at Fits, he's good looking.
Mm,
Like,
mm,
let's reach out to him. You know what I mean?
mm.
But it's not because I'm like, yo, please, can you sell? Like, nah, like if you want to sell, let me know. I'm
Yes,
just letting you know that I'm here, and then that's the magic unfolds from there.
that's powerful.
Yeah.
So then, okay, that's saying that like with sales, the sales background, the whole process that in order to make things happen. Walk us through your daily or weekly your weekly system. How do you stay productive?
All right. So, on a normal day, as I mentioned before, like I just start off with cold calling.
Mm,
But right now I have a PA that does that, but I still send out WhatsApps.
yeah,
So it's like 100 calls and like 100 WhatsApps. After that, then I also do my follow-ups.
yeah.
So like people that have like I've called before or I've sent a WhatsApp and they were like, no, I'm thinking of let's say selling in July. Now it's like July. So like then I'll just look at like all the people that like mentioned that okay, I must follow up with them in July. So I get that done in the morning. So that's like my morning routine, just creating more relationships because that's like the root of the
Mm,
business.
mm,
And then like now I have like a couple of deals in the pipeline. So what I'll do, like I'll just like look at my deals. Some deals I need to also follow up with like payments and all of that. Speak to my lawyers, the conveyancers, just make
mm,
sure everything is like in line. And then the rest of the day is like also going out on appointments, like going out to listings.
mm,
Like listings is basically for those who don't know, it's like listing a new property. If you want me to sell the house, I list it on the market. So I list
yeah.
it on the internet, property 24, private property. So I go out, I take photos, I list it. Then viewings. So
Mm,
like viewings is like once I list it, people want to view the property. They want to see the property. So I also go out on the
yeah.
viewings. Um, and then what do I do? That's basically the core of the day. So it's like the cold calls, the WhatsApps, doing the follow ups, following up on the deals, and then also doing the viewings and the listings. And then like I also believe in balance. Like I'm not a workaholic to be honest with
Mm,
you. Like
mm.
I just work smart.
You work smart, yeah.
So then the rest of the day, then I right now because it's winter, I gym in the afternoons.
Yeah.
So like I'll gym from like 4:30 because my day usually ends around like 4:30.
I get you.
So then go to the gym and then hopefully there's a game, the Chelsea game on.
Always looking for, always looking
And
forward to that
yeah,
one. Yeah.
then watching the
Stay
game
up until 3 o'clock in the morning for the
because
club.
now the club World
Yeah.
Cup, we I feel like Chelsea's gonna win.
Yeah. No, no, I feel that
Yeah.
too. But
So yeah, that's my day, bro. When it's summer, then actually wake up at like 4 a.m. Like go, it's just
it's
like
a bit
really,
warmer.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a bit warmer. So I don't really have like a thorough morning or evening routine.
Mm,
I have a day routine, and then I adjust like according to the seasons, like
mm, mm.
what I'm doing early morning or late evening.
Man,
Yeah,
now we're gonna speak about the goat comparison, right? So if you had to compare yourself, compare your game. If you had to compare your game in real estate to a goat in sports or business, who would it be and why?
it's a good question. Um, let's say Ronaldo.
CR7.
CR7, the best soccer player ever, the goat.
I'm, I'm
And
not gonna say anything.
the reason, and actually, I'm gonna touch on why I say he's the goat.
Okay.
Um, and I'm also gonna compare it to like my real estate career.
Yes.
So like, why I really love Ronaldo is that number one, is his mindset. Messi fans can't fight that. Like Ronaldo has a much more robust mindset. The way he takes care of his body, the way he
Yeah.
believes in
Yeah.
himself. He might seem a bit arrogant, but I think
But there's a reason behind that
yeah,
arrogance. Yeah.
yeah, like every person that's really killing in the industry, I won't say has the right to be arrogant, but it comes across as they're arrogant because they're really confident in themselves.
Yeah, that's what I would say. Like most people actually mistake that
Arrogant,
confidence for
yeah,
arrogance. That's
yeah,
what people need to realize.
yeah.
That if you see someone that backs himself, it's because of the work.
Yeah,
I see.
and like Ronaldo will tell the media that he's the best,
Yeah,
but once he's doing that, he's actually telling himself as well that I'm the best,
yeah, yeah,
and there's also power in the words that we say to other people and the words that we say to ourselves. So why I say Ronaldo is that when it comes to talent, Messi's more talented. When it comes to mindset, like Ronaldo is not as talented as Messi, but he still can compete with Messi. So like sometimes I also feel like there's some parts in my life where I'm not. that great to me.
Mm.
But I don't allow that to limit me.
Yeah.
Like the most powerful thing that we have as human beings is our mind.
Mm.
Like, and we don't even understand how
Man.
powerful it is. So I think with Ronaldo, and in relation to my career, there's agents that have been in the game longer than me.
Mm.
There's, agents that have a different skin color than me.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
that sometimes you feel like is taking you out of the game, but like for me, my mindset doesn't allow me to be out of the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like with Ronaldo, like even if he doesn't have as many Ballon d'Or titles, he still thinks he's
I'm
the
the
best.
best.
You know what I mean? And that's with me. Like even on my bad days, like I still show up. Ronaldo shows up. He still goes to the gym. He's still pushing at now 41, 42. Like, still competing against Lamine, still beating Lamine in the finals. Like that's me, like, and what's keeping him going is the mindset. And also on my bad days when I'm older, that's the only thing that I'm gonna have as my real asset.
Oh, okay. Man, you're actually right. Thinking about Messi is more talented than other people. If there wasn't a Ronaldo, Messi wouldn't have. We would have all believed that then there's no one to his level. But Ronaldo actually broke that
Yeah.
barrier to say, no, I can compete,
Yeah.
and it's that mindset. Like you said, like I don't know if you saw this video. Before he took a free kick, he was speaking to himself.
Yeah.
He was saying, "You can shoot. I can
Mm.
do this."
I've
So
been doing this forever. You can do
yes,
this.
yes, yeah,
As I said, like speaking to yourself, like
yeah,
it sounds like he's being arrogant, like telling himself he can do it. But like that's like even like God created the world with words.
mm,
There's like I was at church the other day and they were speaking about the power of words. Like
mm.
words create and they destroy. You know what I mean? And like for example,
Yeah,
like you
yeah.
learn that, like even on your bad days, like you tell yourself. As I said, I speak to myself every day. I'm like, you know what, Babs, it's a bad day, but it's not the end of the
It's not
world.
the end of the world,
We've had worse days and we got through that.
man.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I have two more questions, right? Because it's getting dark, right?
Yeah.
But what would you say is the X factor that keeps your brand or reputation strong?
I would say like my emotional intelligence.
Mm,
Um, as I said also in the beginning of the podcast, like I really love people. Um, I love helping people, and I also feel like I have a gift on reading people.
mm,
Not to say I read their futures or anything, but like I just know like how to speak to people.
yeah,
Like for example, with me and you, I always try to look for commonalities. Like
relate what you can relate to.
yeah,
Yeah.
like with me and you, like Chelsea. Like I
Mm,
can sit with you for 2 days and we just watching Chelsea because I know you like that and I like that.
yes.
But now also like I meet people that like watch rugby. I don't really like rugby, but I know how to make them feel appreciated. Like
Mm,
if I speak about rugby, like oh no, the Bucks are playing this Saturday versus
mm,
Italy.
mm.
I don't watch rugby at all, but like I'll mention that and you'll see someone like oh Boca like like a diehard supporter, and they'll feel good. Like, I think the most important thing in communicating with someone is just making sure that they feel heard.
Mm,
Most of the
mm.
time, like, I ask a lot of questions, and people always ask me, like, why do you ask a lot of questions? And I ask a lot of questions because like people don't feel appreciated if you don't ask them anything.
Yeah.
If you continue asking like, "Yo, Banjo, like, how's your mom?" How many people ask you like, "How's your mom
Not
every
a lot of
day?"
people ask that.
Your mom could have been like sick or something like
True,
that,
true,
and
true.
like you think, "Oh, dude, this guy, like, he made a whole conversation about my mom." You know what I mean? So like when I do sales, I don't make it about sales at all,
It's just relationship.
just relationship, understanding who you are. Even when I follow up with you and I understand that you're an Arsenal supporter, I hate Arsenal,
Yeah.
but I find out you're an Arsenal supporter, and then if the Arsenal game is on, or if maybe let's say, not to think that this will ever happen, but Arsenal wins the Premier League,
Mm,
then
mm,
I'll message you and be like, "Yo, dude, did you see Arsenal won the Premier
mm,
League?" And
mm.
you'll be like, "Oh, dude, this real estate agent, I met him a year ago, but he still remembers that I like Arsenal." And like, you
People
know,
remember how you made them feel.
exactly. Like, we need to evoke emotion. Like in a conversation, evoke emotion. Try not make the conversation about you. People don't really care about you, honestly. Like you need to make sure that someone feels cared for.
Yes.
And that's when like business happens.
Yeah.
Like Yeah,
That's oh man. You're hitting the nail on the coffin today.
yeah,
So then my last question, because you know this is called the crown that befits you.
yeah.
So what does the crown that befits you mean to you personally? And what crown are you still reaching for?
That's a good question. Putting me on the spot. This is the most difficult question. The crown that befits you. I'm just gonna be honest in what I feel and what I think. I feel like with that, would you say it's a slogan? The crown that befits you.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
with that slogan, like I feel like what it means to me is that there's different crowns out there.
Mm,
Not to say any crown weighs more or any crown is more significant, but I feel like it comes down to purpose as well.
mm,
Like there's different crowns. Like maybe your crown is like to be the goat in soccer. Maybe your
yeah.
crown is to be, the president, whatever. But the lovely thing about that slogan is there is one crown out there that will befit you. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, and sometimes you have to wear certain crowns to take them off as well. Like sometimes, like with my journey, like I felt like a goat in soccer, but it wasn't my
Mm,
purpose. Or
mm,
maybe I served my purpose for the time, but like I needed to fit a different crown.
mm,
I think like right now, I won't say I'm wearing the crown in real estate. There's a lot of reputable agents, but I'm doing well in my industry.
in your
And I
crown.
do feel like the crown doesn't have to be given by the public. It has to be given by God.
Yes.
And like I'm wearing the crown that God befitted on my head. So I think to answer your question, there's like that slogan basically means that everyone has a crown, but like sometimes you need to go through different phases in your life to understand what is your real crown that
Mm,
like befits your head.
and what crown are you still reaching for?
Like actually today, Diogo Jota died.
R.I.P.
Like really,
Yeah.
well dressed. When I say well dressed, like in terms of accolades, soccer player.
Mm,
Um, me and my brother were speaking, and we were shocked. I think the whole
mm.
soccer,
Still shaking, man.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
whole soccer world was shaken. And then like, cause he was 28, like that's like
It's my age.
prime. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
like prime, prime. He just won the Prem. He won the Nations League.
yeah.
Um,
He got married
he
5 days
got
ago.
married, and then like me and my brother were just like, you know what? Like everything that we're chasing is actually worthless. Like,
Man.
not to say that it's worthless, but it doesn't mean anything at the
Mm,
end.
mm,
Like, the saddest thing is that he was more than a soccer player. He was like a husband, he was a brother, he
mm.
died with his brother, he was a son. And like we said, like the most important thing in life is life itself, like having the ability to live. So I think like, when tragic moments happen like this, like for me the crown that I'm chasing is just the crown of purpose.
Mm.
I'm not trying to be the next billionaire. It would be dope if I
It'll be
was.
yeah.
It would be really dope. But I think at the end of the day, I also believe that there's life after life.
Yes.
And in that life, because that life is eternal, I also want to be welcomed by God.
Mm.
And I want to also hear God saying that I lived my purpose. Not to say I was the best real estate agent or the best soccer player, but like I just did what I came, like God, ordained me to do here
Mm.
on earth. So that's the crown that I'm chasing. Like the crown is just to live by God's purpose, satisfy people, and just live a good life.
Yeah.
Once I die, I want people to be able to say, yo, dude, this guy was actually a good guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not perfect, but he tried.
No, I get you.
Yeah.
Oh, Pabi, thank you. That this whole thing was an eye opener. Like I've written a lot of notes,
Yeah.
and yeah, like I've learned a lot from you, man. And you're really a big inspiration to a lot of people. So I want to say thank you so much for taking the time to come here and like share your experience and your journey through the whole thing. And
Nah, easy. And yo, shout out to Banjo as well. Me and Banjo, we've been trying to do different businesses together,
trying, yeah,
but we here still together.
yeah,
As I said, everything works for a reason. Maybe one thing's not gonna work out, but
yes.
like I really just want to give you your blessings also for this,
Thank you, bro.
for this podcast. Hope it really works out. I know a lot of people are gonna benefit as well.
Yes, yes.
And it's serving purpose, you
A
know what I
serving
mean? It's
purpose,
serving
yeah.
purpose, allowing other people to, you know, allow their minds to tap into different universes,
Yes.
you know what I mean, and learn. So big ups to you, bro.
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
Machi. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much,
brother.
bro. Okay, cool. Nah, thanks, Pabi.
Oh yeah.
Now, I wanted to do one more thing, right?
Yeah.
So, this is for the next person who's going to be on this platform. So, I need you to write 3 questions. Right? You don't have to share it on. You just need to write these 3 questions.
Okay.
The next person is going to be on this platform. I'll answer those. I'll ask them those questions.
All right.